Hey, what is up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, I'm gonna do the what's next on Jose Pedraza, the former two-division world champion at 140 pounds. He fought on the ESPN card on Saturday, June 12th, when he dominated up-and-comer, I think his name was Julian Rodriguez, dominated him. I believe it was an 8th round TKO, big-time win right there for Pedraza as he continues to move forward, following, losses in recent years to Vasily Lomachenko when he tried to unify belts at 135, and then when he first moved up to 140, early on taking on Jose Cepeda, who's still a top contender at 140. He dropped the decision, one-sided decision there a couple years back, so he's still trying to, let everybody know that he wants to win a world title at 140 pounds and put himself in position. And he did that with a nice win over Rodriguez. He's on his way to showing everybody that he wants to contend, and I believe he will contend in what's going to soon be a wide-open 140-pound division with Josh Taylor becoming undisputed champion. He may defend the title once and then move up in weight, and all the titles might go vacant, and Pedraza is putting himself nicely in a position to hopefully fight for a world title. I got him ranked around 7th or 8th. Pablo Cesar Cano has not fought. He was 7th ahead of him heading into the year. Pablo Cesar Cano has not fought. He hasn't fought since November of 2019. He's probably going to be dropping out of my top 10, which would move Pedraza right into the mix right there at number 7. So, let's take a look at the top 10 and what's next for Jose Pedraza, the former two-division champ. We start with the number 1, the undefeated, the undisputed Josh Taylor. Pedraza doesn't have any chance to fight Taylor. Taylor, with that win to become undisputed champion, has thrown himself, way into the limelight. Taylor's likely going to be fighting. If he fights one more time at 140, only one more time, it's probably going to be against undefeated Jack Catterall as he tries to hold on to all 4 belts. Catterall's his mandatory number 1 contender for the WBO and has been waiting the longest, so he's next in line. If Taylor decides to stay at 140, it's probably going to be against Catterall next. Pedraza, is a top-ranked guy, so that, if Taylor wanted to fight him, he could, but it'd be a step back. What would be the point? Pedraza has lost to Cepeda, who lost to Ramirez, who Taylor beat. So he's not a big name. It wouldn't make sense for Taylor. I don't see this fight happening anytime soon, especially not next. Number 2 is Jose Ramirez. Now, if both these guys want to roll the dice and move back into the mix, and Ramirez wants to stay at 140, I think the fight's very possible. They're both top-ranked guys. It's an easy fight to make. Ramirez might want to say fuck it and get right back in there, coming off of a tough loss to Taylor, but he didn't lose by a lot. He didn't get blown out. He got knocked down a couple times. It was a close fight, though. And, in terms of the cards, he finished the fight. Ramirez might want to jump back in feet first, but that's if Ramirez plans on staying at 140. Personally, I'm going to lean towards the no, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if these two guys lock horns. Number 3 is Regis Prograis, the former champion. I'm not seeing it, but Prograis is pretty much a free agent to fight wherever he wants to fight. He's doing a lot of one-fight deals. He just fought recently, got a win, and now is looking at bigger things. So would he possibly consider fighting Jose Cepeda, to become the mandatory number 1 contender for the WBC belt? I think he's waiting around to see what Taylor does next, but if Bob Arum made him a good offer to come over to Top Rank and fight a guy like Pedraza, I think he'd be down to do it. I think Pedraza would be down to do it, and I think it's a makeable fight. Right now, I'm going to lean towards the less likely, though. I think he's looking for possibly a bigger fight that's going to put him in a mandatory position to fight for the world title. But I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I'm leaning towards no. Number 4 would be a rematch with Jose Cepeda. The only way I see this fight happening next is if Pedraza's got to want the rematch, 1, and 2, if Prograis were to like sidestep his mandatory final eliminator possible fight with Zepeda, you know, and not go for that, which is possible, then I think Zepeda would be able to fight somebody who's moving up the rankings, and Pedraza's got to be one of those guys. So I could see it then, but all in all, I don't see this fight happening because I don't think Zepeda needs it. I'm not sure Pedraza wants it. Zepeda's in a very good position right now to fight for a world title at some point soon. I think he's going to wait around to see what Taylor does, and I'm going to lean towards the no. Excuse me. Number 5 is former champion Victor Postol. I mean, I think this fight makes a ton of sense. I think it's a fight that should happen. Pedraza, he's been beaten a couple times, so people aren't going to look his way first anymore. Victor Postol is a guy that nobody wants to fight. I think if these two guys lock horns, it definitely would be some kind of an eliminator to move in position to get a world title shot. I think this fight makes a ton of sense. Should these guys look to see what happens first with should they look to see what happens first with whatchamacallit, with Josh Taylor, and see if he gives up one of his belt? Absolutely. You know, absolutely they should. But you know, Victor Postol, he fought his ass off against Jose Ramirez, almost beat him. He's up there in age, but he's still a contender. Pedraza's not a guy that people are signing up to fight first. So I think this fight makes a lot of sense. Now, number 6 is former champ Robert Easter Jr. I don't see it happening just because of the promotions. You got Premier Boxing Champions for Robert Easter, and you got Top Rank for Pedraza. I just don't see these two guys locking horns. Pablo Cesar Cano, number 7. And, you know, he's a Golden Boy. I don't see Golden Boy and Top Rank getting together for this fight. You know, and Cano hasn't fought in a year and a half now. And I really think, you know, there's no rush out of Golden Boy to get him into a fight against a guy like Pedraza, so I don't see it. As I said originally, Pedraza was number 8 coming in. So number 9 is Ivan Barianchek, the former champ. I wouldn't be surprised on this one. Barianchek is down to fight. He's down to fight anybody. I think he wants to get back into the mix of things. I think a fight with Pedraza makes a lot of sense for both guys. And, you know, I think it's a fight that Pedraza, if he can't get one of the bigger dogs, which that doesn't look likely, I think it's a fight he should consider. So I'd like to see that a lot. And then number 10 is Adrian Granados. I don't see it just simply because Granados is a PBC guy, and I doubt, you know, they could get it done. But you never know. So top 10, that's it for the top 10. Most likely he's going to stay busy and fight whoever. But out of the top 10 guys, I really think that a showdown with Postol or a showdown with Ivan Barianchek make the most sense for him. I think it's possible he could land Jose Ramirez or Regis Prograis, but I'm leaning towards the less likely. But yeah, I love a Postol or a showdown with Ivan Barianchek. So we'll see what happens. That's the what's next on Jose Pedraza, the former 2-division world champ. Hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been here with the truth.